Anxiety. We hate it, don't we? It's just unbearable, constantly there and controlling our lives. Have you had enough of it and you want to reduce it? Well, you're in the right place. Hi, my name's Catherine, and yes, I have suffered and do suffer from anxiety. But in this video today, I want to tell you two things that have really helped dramatically reduce my anxiety, like so much. So I want to share that with you. Yeah, I've been anxious my whole life. I look back at photographs of myself. I only realised this recently. That's the expression I pull in every photograph, and the amount of times I walk around with big dents of my teeth in my lip because I'm gripped in that anxiety state. Yeah, it feels rubbish, doesn't it? And when you're anxious, the thoughts just escalate. Even the smallest thing can become massive. Yeah? You've got a leaky tap in the bathroom, and then you're lying in bed at 3 in the morning and you can hear the drip, drip, drip of the tap, and then you start panicking. How can I fix the tap because I can't afford to get a plumber in at the moment? And then what if the washer suddenly just breaks and then the tap overflows, and then I walk into the bathroom and the bathroom floor just collapses, and then over in the kitchen as well. Yeah, right? It just goes, right? And it's not just one thought, is it? You're not just anxious about one thing. There's like strands of millions of things coming out of your head that you're worrying about. Yeah, I do understand, okay? And well, what can we do? Because actually, we do have problems in our lives. So we might get overly anxious about things that are just minor, but sometimes we do have very big problems in our lives. So how are we supposed to not feel anxious about that? Well, I can't solve your problems, but I can help you reduce the anxiety around them. Now, I'm saying this with confidence because actually I've got some big problems going on in my life. And up until recently, they were like, I can't tell you, like just massive burdens weighing down on me. And I wasn't actually doing anything about them. I was just worrying constantly. But if we can take the anxiety away from the actual problem, then there might be something we can do to help. Okay? So fear is a very big part of anxiety. It's the things we are fearing. We're fearing the fact that the bathroom tap is dripping. We're fearing about getting the results from the health appointment. We're fearing about the fact that we didn't reply to our friend, and now we're worried because we feel like we can't. It's fear, yeah, mainly, okay? So what do? Well, first of all, we recognise when you can become an observer of your thoughts, it changes everything. It really, it does, okay? So what does becoming an observer of your thoughts mean? So, for example, we'll take the leaky tap. What you need to do is you need to start recognizing your thoughts, okay, observing them. So the thought comes in and you say, I am having a thought, okay? This is very important. I am having a thought that because I've got a leaky tap and I can't afford to fix it, that it's going to cause massive damage and my bathroom floor is going to cave in, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to almost like pick that thought up, okay? You're going to pick that thought up and you're going to pop it over there, right? We're going to work on one thought at a time. So obviously I am talking about thought, right? But this thought, but you apply it to whatever's concerning you. Now we've got our thought there, right? And now we're going to visualize it. Why are we going to visualize it? Well, it helps us in the observing process, okay? It helps us to observe the thought and see the thought for what it is, which is a thought, okay? So I've got some little guy, I'm observing my thought, I've got some little guy standing there going, leaky tap, right? Okay. And what is my fear? What's the fear that's coming off of him? Well, the fear is that my bathroom floor is going to cave in, right? So you're recognizing the thought and you're recognizing the fears that are coming out around the thought, yeah? Another thought. I am having a thought that because I didn't reply to my friend and I left it a couple of days, that she's going to be really upset with me. Okay, so we're going to put that thought over there. Yeah, and we're going to see that thought, and that thought's like, oh my God, I've just ruined my friendship. She's never going to want to speak to me again. She's going to think I'm absolutely rubbish, and why am I such an idiot, right? Okay, and you've got all these fears and worries coming out. And then you're going to go to the truth, okay? So you're emptying your brain, your mind of all these thoughts, and you're not resisting them. You're not saying, oh, because actually that's what we do. We resist our thoughts. We don't want them, and we're like this all the time. We're trying not to think about them, but the more we try not to think about them, the more they're like seeping in like water going through all the cracks, yeah? And just like echoing in your brain, okay? So that is another key thing. We're not resisting, okay? We're saying, okay, thought, okay, fear, come on, you can come to me, I'm letting you in, but you're just going to be sitting over here, okay? You can stay with me, but you're just going to be sitting over here because I'm doing a little bit of cleaning. I'm getting rid of thoughts out my mind, I'm putting you over there, I'm emptying myself, okay? And then when we can empty our mind of our thoughts, we can start to regain a little bit of control, yeah? Because up until now, our thoughts and our fears have been controlling us, haven't they? They have. Constantly in fight, flight, freeze mode, yeah? Constantly, yeah? All the time. And we don't want to be like that, because actually we're producing all these stress hormones. It's not good for our body, okay? So we empty our mind of our thoughts. We don't resist them, we allow them, but we're just putting them over there, and we breathe. Don't tell me to breathe, you're saying. That's something, isn't it? When you're anxious and you're like uptight and someone says, just breathe, and you're like, I am breathing. If I didn't breathe, I wouldn't be here. Right? I understand. I get it. But you know, you can use a little bit of breath work in collaboration with your visualizations, okay? So just breathe, okay? You're just going to breathe, and you're going to feel that emptiness, yeah? All your worries and your fears is still there, but you're just going to, oh, it feels nice, doesn't it? Just to have your brain free from all that noise for a moment, okay? Now, when you've spent your whole life with thoughts running around your head, emptying your mind of them is not just as simple as that, is it? So that's why you're going to work with like one thought at a time initially, because it's actually, you're training yourself. It becomes something that you have to train yourself to do this. Now, this is a process I've been going through recently, yeah? So I do understand, and it is a training. And then as you're enjoying your emptiness and the thoughts are coming in, you're just going to go as more thoughts, because they will, they won't leave you alone. As they come in, you're going to go, okay, I'm not going to resist you, okay? You're very welcome. Come along in, maybe have a cup of tea, put your feet up, but you're going to do it over there, okay? You're just going to be there, okay? You can stay, but you're going to be there. It might sound a bit strange to you why I'm asking you to do this. You might think that it's a bit like weird, but really, if you can just get on board with that visualization, it really works. Because once you get to a point where you're actually observing your thoughts and your fears, you're taking a step back. Yeah, you're not in that chaos. You're observing the chaos, okay? And when you're observing the chaos, you can regain your strength. You can regain your calm, yeah? So what do I do? You might say, I still have the problems. Well, yes, okay? There's no magic solution to having problems, right? Now, there's two things with problems. They're either problems that you have no control over and there's nothing you can do, okay? So if that's the case, you're just going to have to accept that, okay? This is a problem that's occurring, but I have no control over what is happening, okay? Then if there's a problem that you can control, or you can at least minimize it, when you're working from a place of calm, it feels a little less overwhelming. And you can just calmly think about what you can do to help resolve it, okay? But if you can't resolve it, yeah? You're just going to manage, okay? Because actually, when we've got problems in our lives and when we've got big problems, our sort of default way of thinking is, I can't cope with this. But the reality is you can cope, yeah, and you will cope. You have some problems. They might not feel very nice, yeah, but you will manage them in the best way that you can. Now, sometimes with problems, they can feel just like make you feel isolated, can't they? Like you're the only one in the world who has problems. And what I tend to do when I'm catastrophizing over my problems is I zoom out, okay? I sort of have a little trip, an outer space journey, right? And I zoom out and I look down upon the world, okay? And there's thousands of millions of billion things going on in the world, and trillions of problems and minor problems and massive problems and world problems and just a whole host of problems going on down there. And then there's me, and I'm just a tiny dot. I'm a tiny little dot with some problems in this big, vast, massive, expansive world. Yeah, and actually I can manage it. I might not like it, but I can manage it. Okay? So we've done that, okay? We're learning now. We're learning to become observers of our thoughts. Yeah? If you want to have a little bit more coaching on observing your thoughts, someone I found really helpful was a chap called Michael Singer. And you can listen to his podcasts on YouTube. And he's just got a great way of speaking and just like making you realize that your brain's just like telling you a whole load of stuff and it's not as bad as you think. Okay, so check out Michael Singer if you want a little bit more help around this process of observing your thoughts. Okay, what we can also do is when we are feeling anxious, and anxiety does lodge itself in our bodies, okay? This is a little technique that when I went to therapy in my 30s was used on me, okay? And I found it to be very helpful. So I'm just going to share it with you. Right. So you need to be calm and peaceful and ideally on your own. Okay? And I want you to think, when you feel that anxiety, where do you feel that anxiety in your body? Okay? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your head? Is it in your muscles? Where do you feel that anxiety? So you just need to find that first. when you're feeling like really anxious, where does that feeling stem from? Okay. All right. And then when you've discovered that, okay, I want you, with your eyes closed, to just imagine that feeling. What does that feeling look like to you? Yeah, imagine that, visualize that feeling as like, I don't know, like a person or a little cartoon character, or just imagine that feeling. Okay. Right, now when I did this, when I was focusing on my anxiety, my feeling was like, I don't know, like a wire wall with mad starey eyes and hands like that, yeah? Right? And then, with your eyes closed, you're going to go up to that feeling. And you're going to think, what do you think will make that feeling feel better? Okay? All right? So with me, I had this crazy werewolf mad thing, right? And I just gently took its hand, okay? And I stroked it to try and calm it down. And that's what I want you to do. It might sound a bit far out, it might sound a bit crazy, but trust me, if you can really get on board with that, it can really help you, yeah? So you just want to calm that feeling down, yeah? Okay? I'm just looking at the time, so it's 20 minutes, because I don't want to bore you all. But yeah, so listen, those are the two things that have really, really helped me, okay? Learning to become an observer of my thoughts, not resisting them. Very important, very important. Allowing the thoughts to come in, but just putting them to one side. Okay? Yeah, emptying your mind, seeing those thoughts and the fears around them. Okay? And understanding that all that fear around the thought is just an illusion. It's not real. Yeah? You might say, if we're thinking about the thought about, you know, not replying to your friend's text, yes, but she will be annoyed. Yeah? You might be saying, but it is real. It is, my fear is real. Okay? The truth is, you haven't replied to your friend for a reason. Now, even if that reason is purely just your anxiety, and I don't know why I say just, because that's a big reason, yeah? If your friend is a true friend, all you need to do is say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm just feeling anxious right now and I'm struggling with communication. Yeah? And anyone who is reasonable will understand that. Yeah? Okay? So you're going to recognize all these fears around your thoughts, that you're catastrophizing, you're turning them into something bigger. Yeah? You're going to work from a place of peace, You can think about your thoughts, but maybe you're just going to say, you know what, I'm not going to think about this particular problem until 3 hours time, and in 3 hours time I will let myself think about this problem for 20 minutes, and I can try and come up with solutions for 20 minutes, and then I will leave it back there. So you're not addressing your problems. You will address them, but you're not going to be thinking about them every single second of the day, okay? You will allocate a time for thinking and addressing your problems, and then you will return back to peace. Yeah? Okay. Now, also do try the technique that we just went through as well. It might not work for you, but if you're a visual creature like me, then you might find it to be quite helpful. And if you are someone who suffers from anxiety, you're not alone. Many of us are. Quiet sufferers of our mind. But what we really need to be doing is, we don't want to let our thoughts, our fears, those negative emotions control us, do we? And control our lives. We want to get to a point where we can manage them. That we are now in control of our thoughts, rather than letting our thoughts be in control of us. Yeah? Because your thoughts are just thoughts. They're not you. Okay? You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just thoughts. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have anything you would like to say about today's video, maybe anxiety is something that you do struggle with and you're having difficulty keeping it under control, do drop a note in the comments, and I will always reply. And it can just be helpful to know you have a little bit of support from others who also can understand, because they've been there. Yeah? And if you found this video helpful at all, please do like it, because it really helps my channel and I'm ever so grateful. And even better, I would love you to become a part of this community. We are growing every single day, and it's just so nice to see like-minded people come and share what their thoughts are and feel that we can be supportive of one another. It's just great. So please, I would love for you to come and join us. Hit that subscribe button and become part of our family. Okay, sending you lots of love and light, and wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.